Good morning, everybody, and you're really welcome to the next session as part of our virtual career series, Science and Agriculture. And we're absolutely delighted to welcome ABP Food Group, or ABP Ireland, a partner of DKIT, a very long-standing partner of DKIT, and usually supportive of everything that we're doing, and a huge support from a placement and graduate recruitment perspective as well. So, guys, we're absolutely delighted to welcome you here, and we're joined by Mary Claire Baxter, who's HR manager at ABP Clonis and a DKIT graduate, Shirley McCabe, who's Group QA Management, a DKIT graduate, and Adele McLewain, who's also Group QA management and is not a DKIT graduate, but we're going to give her an honorary one just because she's showing up today to present to our lovely students. So without further ado, we will get on with the presentation, and I'm not sure who's going to start it off, but we're looking forward to it. Sure, yep. Shirley's going to start it off. Perfect. Shirley, so take it away there.
Great stuff. So good morning, everybody, and just wanted to thank you for giving us the opportunity to introduce ABP to everybody. As Anthony said, both Adele and I, well, Adele actually went to Letterkenny, I went to Dundalk, so I'm a past pupil. Both of us did food science, and Mary Claire was business management, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
Adele and I both started in the QA management roles in ABP many years ago, and we've both progressed into group roles as time has gone on. I've clocked up a staggering 25 years with ABP, whereas Adele is 16 years with the company. However, there's colleagues with us that have been there a lot longer than us. I think the reason being the industry, it's infectious, it's ever changing. There's always something to keep you interested. So I'm just going to pass over to my colleague Adele. There you go, Adele.
Hi, everyone. So I'm just going to bring you through the company overview very quickly. So ABP Food Group, we've got over 10,000 employees, 42 production sites. We handle around 1 million cattle per year, per annum. ABP is not just ABP Ireland. We've got ABP Poland and ABP UK. ABP Ireland has 6 main processing sites, but recently we've also got joint ventures with Slaney Foods and ICM. ICM is the slaughtering of lamb. So that's all new to us. Hence what Shirley says is ever changing. So in the last few years, myself and Shirley had to become more favoursome with the lamb industry and get to know the production and the processing of lamb. We've also got ABP Poland, who's 3 sites over in Poland. We had our first 10-year anniversary with our first site in Poland there this year. And then we have a company that gathered up another 2 there most recently. And in the UK, we have a total of 14 operating sites. Again, both sheep and cattle. Main production is cattle. We've also got C&D pet foods. So throughout Europe, there's approximately, I think there's 9 facilities all over Europe. We do the pouch, we do the alu tray, and we do canned and dry formats. The pet food industry is huge. People think of their pets as another child, and you might think that it's a lower commodity, but there's a lot more focus on our pet. There's more focus on our pet food now. And we're supplying into the major retailers as the Sainsbury's, everything with our pet food. Then we've got Olico. Olico takes up the cooking oil and converts it into biodiesel. You may have seen the McDonald's adverts where they outline this as part of their recycling and sustainability plans. So Olico is amongst one of these. And then we have ABP Proteins. So our industry is somewhat unusual where most companies build a product, whereas we essentially take a product and bring it down to subcategories, hence our offal, hence our pet foods, and then we've got the proteins. The proteins is like the hides and the bones and the Cat 1 and the Cat 2 rendering sites. Over to you, Shirley.
Okay, so our presence. So obviously, as you see there, we export to a lot of of retailers, food service operators, manufacturers throughout the world. We were one of the first beef companies to gain USDA approval for exporting to the US. Additionally, the Chinese market, when it was open, and hopefully it will be again soon, we were part of that process and we gained site approvals for all our sites. So from a QA point of view, a lot of work in doing that across the group. Then from a sustainability point of view, there's massive work going on in that area, and ABP Food Group is the first company to ever have achieved the quadruple carbon trust certification standard. So knowledge of our markets, this is key for us. Different countries, different rules, different legislation, different, lots of things. So without constantly being in contact with Enterprise Ireland, Board BIA, IBEC, etc., they are critical to us keeping on top of progress and maintaining our business. So Idel.
So this is a very simple diagram of our main process. Very simplistic approach. There's a lot more going on behind all those little circles. So there is. So you have the live animal coming in from the farm in through the gates. It enters into the lairage and enters into the slaughter hall where ultimately it's slaughtered and dressed. Then we move on, it's chilled. Then we moved into the boning. The boning hall is labor intensive. It's a very, very busy environment. The product is boned down into the various cuts and then it's trimmed off into customer specifications. Then we're taking in our packaging, our approved packaging from suppliers, packaging again, food safety regulations, everything has to be done properly with our packaging. Place the product into the packaging and then it's sealed and packed. Some of the byproducts then are all offsite or gathered and then rendered within our own facilities outside of ABP. So as part of the ABP Food Group. Then some of our primals then either move off into the customers for slicing or we move them into our retail sites. We've retail sites here in Ireland and then we've retail sites over in the UK. The UK mainly deal with our UK retailers, the Asda's and the Sainsbury's, whereas the Irish retail sites deal with the likes of our Tesco's and our Aldi's, etc., etc. Then you have your end product, and then you're off shipping over to dispatched over to the customer. So the whole process is very labor intensive. Machinery can only do so much, and automation of the boning halls is slowly creeping in, but it's very much manual process. Can you move that slide over, Shirley, to the next one?
Yeah.
Thank you. So here we have a lovely photograph of a cow. So I've just brought you through the various processes within the slaughter sites and the boning sites and the retail sites. This is just the main cuts of the animal. Say some customers want Pacific cuts, the sirloin, and they want their steak to a certain size. So you've got your 2 steaks in a pack or your 3 steaks in your pack. And then you've got your fillets, and then you've got your tails and your legs and your brisket. All of these might just be words to use, but behind each of these cuts, there's probably another cut, and there's a customer spec behind that. Because ABP Food Group, we achieve to be the best. We want to be the best, and we want to give our consumers the best flavoursome, matured product, eatability and flavour within that. And doing that, we've Pacific designed chilling regimes and dressing technique and boning processes within our boning halls. But there's a lot more behind this animal. You've got your offal cuts coming off this, and then you've got your byproducts coming off it, like the likes of the hide, the fat, the bones. Everything is utilised. As I said earlier, most manufacturers build a product. We actually receive the product and we are taking pieces off that product to build our company, ABP Food Group.
Okay. So careers with ABP. So as we said earlier, so after the presentation, we have a short video just to go through an overview of our graduate program. However, given our backgrounds, I want to go through the quality assurance aspect of this. So you see from the diagram above, quality assurance for us is the top piece. So it stands out in the quality assurance role, and no different, I suppose, to a lot of roles on that page. We get involved with pretty much every team. It's all about us all working together. It's all about us all sitting down as a team, not an individual department, and working through. On a daily basis, I am constantly in contact with our production team. Constantly in contact with our research and development, our lean, etc. You know, most areas there we're talking to on a daily basis. So QA, I suppose what I'm trying to say is ultimately gets involved in it all. So from a food science point of view, you get to see all the different areas, you get to see all the factory really. So Edel, that's you.
So working for ABP, as Shirley mentioned earlier, I don't have as many years clocked up as Shirley. I have 16 though. I do have 16. Listen, I have been in other industries, not the meat industry, but when you come into the meat industry, it's just so fast moving, and ABP is such a progressive company. Like, it's just ever changing. There's always something new, and that's why I never got bored. Like every day you're learning something new, whether it be within maintenance or packaging or suppliers or the live animal or machinery or something like that. We see potential in all our graduates. Everyone coming in through the gates has an opportunity to be the next myself, Shirley, or next me or Shirley coming in through those gates. But it's up to you to progress, but we will give you the path to succeed within ABP.
Okay, so just delving back into, from a food science point of view, the QA functions. So the general manager on each of our sites is the custodian of all food safety. It's one of our pillars. It's one of the key areas in most important thing in our factories. But obviously this is aided by a QA team. So QA team, as I said earlier, they get involved with everybody. But I suppose some of the main tasks would be writing up procedures, so writing up SOPs to train people up so we can audit against those SOPs. We can challenge our systems by auditing and improve. Although I'm 25 years there, I'm never happy with our quality assurance system. We could always improve. We could always do better. And it's always great to get new insights from people, different ideas, how we can do things like that. And again, we have to deal with the requirements set by our customers by maintaining and exceeding their service level standards. That's just to name a few areas. Okay. Additionally, the whole lean department, that has been a major insight from my perspective, things that we've been talking about for years. It's put it all into a simplified system that works, and we work very closely with our lean department on projects. So why choose a career in the agri sector? So I suppose, in essence, by 2050, the world's population is projected to hit 9 billion. We need to be able to feed and clothe everybody. And this is going to rely heavily on agriculture. So with that comes the need for new technology, creative minds, workers, college graduates that are ready to jump in and support the ever-changing industry. With job diversity, the agriculture has expanded to become so diverse, and it gives job seekers a wide variety of careers to choose from. If you go back to the slide we had with all the different departments, it's not just, we have food science graduates that have gone into production, that have gone into maintenance, that have gone into different areas. Industry growth, as an industry, we're growing so quickly. and there's a very high demand for job seekers coming for roles. Again, technology is evolving so quickly. You know, as Edel alluded earlier, you know, we're not that automated, but it's creeping in there, but it's still very reliant on people, you know, but there's things creeping in. So, you know, with the right education, people are able to work and develop that technology to help us shape our industry. And finally, the rewarding piece. I find people that have careers in agriculture, food, they're very passionate about what they do. They want the industry to be successful. They want it to be prosperous. And it's rewarding for me, definitely, being able to work in that kind of industry and make a bit of a difference. And it's an easy sector to have networking in, make lasting connections in your field. So I suppose from our perspective, I suppose the next piece is maybe, Anthony, if we can run that video, would be good.
Of course. Bear with me for 1 second.
Thank you.
I spent 3 years in Waterford IT studying agriculture. Absolutely fantastic course.
I did a 4-year course and did human resource management. I did a master's in food safety and risk analysis.
I attended the careers day outside the RDS. I seen a massive stand.
I initially studied history in Trinity College in Dublin.
A lifelong interest in farming. The obvious career option was ABP for me.
I didn't know much about agriculture, beef industry.
When I was in my interview, I was informed about the 2-year graduate program.
So when I joined the company through this Abp program, it's the export orientation program. They put up a plan for me. It was 6 months working in Ireland. Then 6 months would be spent in Poland, then on to Germany.
I was very excited, so excited. I was like, finally got a job that I really, really want.
First impressions were that it was really well organised.
You would get on with people. Management are enthusiastic about teaching you, bringing you on.
And then ABP seconded me to Queen's University and sponsored my PhD.
I was made part of the team. I made great friends from day one.
It just snowballed from there, and I ended up 7 months in Ireland, and then the rest of my time with ABP has been in Poland.
And the 2 years in, you know exactly what you have to aim towards, what you need to learn. So it's been great when it comes to networking. It's great when it comes to learning different aspects of the business.
There's no end to the opportunity. People will help you every step of the way.
It's so well planned out that you know exactly what you have to do to succeed in ABP.
Each step was more and more exciting, to say the least.
I never felt judged for having a history degree.
You always had support and you've always someone to go to.
Right down to the supervisors, production managers, everyone. So supportive.
Also, I think it's nice that it's not always just about work, and there is an aspect of people just wanting to make sure that person.
I spent 3 years in Waterford IT studying agriculture. Absolutely fantastic course.
I did a 4-year course and did human resource management. I did a master's in food safety and risk analysis.
I attended the careers day outside the RDS. I seen a massive stand.
I initially studied history in Trinity College in Dublin.
A lifelong interest in farming. The obvious career option was ABP for me.
I didn't know much about agriculture, beef industry.
When I was in my interview, I was informed about the 2-year graduate program.
So when I joined the company through this...
Gone.
Guys, you okay? You can hear me?
Yeah, well, we can hear you, but the video's gone.
Oh, no, the video was playing away. Maybe you just couldn't see it in the background. It was definitely playing.
Oh, I don't
no
think it finished.
Did it just stop? I wonder.
I think it just stopped.
Oh, right, don't worry. We can play it at the end anyway.
Yeah,
we got about 2.5 minutes into it, so I can play it at the end anyway.
Yeah,
but it was looking great. Brilliant. Well, thanks so much to Shirley and Adele, obviously, for a brilliant presentation and great overview of their own roles, their history with the organisation. And there are some questions coming in then around the actual structure of the graduate program itself, Marie-Claire. So I don't know if you want to take that.
Yeah.
So typically, what does the 2 years look like from a graduate's perspective? What will they be doing?
Well, I suppose when they first come in, they would be getting an introductory, say 2-3 months in their department that they were accepted into. And what the management would be looking to do with them is, give them a training plan, give them a buddy system, someone that they can kind of check in with, and make sure that that any questions they have throughout their training program, that they can talk to their buddy, and make sure that they know that they can ask questions, and that our doors is all open for, even in the HR department, we always say, if you need anything, please come to us. But the first, the first few months is definitely introductory into the business. Then we would start, say, an appraisal system, and then that's where we'd look at maybe where, even though we know you're graduates and, they've just come out, but some people might require maybe soft skills such as Excel training or presentation skills. And we would look at all of those kind of gaps and see where we need to, fill. And, there is different sort of training days for graduates. You could have maybe 12, 13 days in the year where we would set these aside. No matter if they think they don't need them, we would still ask them to attend, just to make sure that everyone is, getting that training, and that they're getting the time off to go to the training. But a lot of it is introductory into the business, and meeting management, not just on the site, but in head office as well, and knowing who ABP is and what the company is about.
Perfect. And then, so maybe Shirley and Adele come in a slightly different route. Their backgrounds maybe food science or quality or science, whatever it might be. There are opportunities outside of the graduate program, obviously, as well.
Oh, absolutely. We're always looking for people. It's as we said, it's a growing industry. It is a people dependent process. So absolutely, it's not just food science people we're looking for. It's pretty much pretty much diverse across the board. Yeah.
Okay, and maybe let's have a question here. Maybe it's for Marie Claire as well, around other opportunities outside of sort of food and quality and the graduate program, because I'm conscious there could be students on here from other areas like business, like yourself, IT. Accountancy and finance, and I know that you guys have a number of different graduate entry routes into those areas as well.
Well, I suppose we, like, all in all, I'd say there's over 13 different disciplines that we would be looking to recruit for graduates, and also we have apprenticeship roles as well. If people was looking to go down that road, we could take the people on. We would, if they're looking to, say, do a maintenance apprenticeship, we work with Solus on that. We register them and, make sure that they are, doing their training program as Solus has. It's all just an agreement. And, every walk of life we would take on people. It's all about just making sure that they have the right, work ethic, and that they're willing to kind of knuckle down and do them. Yeah.
Perfect. Question for Adele and maybe Shirley, as managing new graduates coming in, you guys obviously have a bit of experience in that. What, in your opinion, makes an exceptional graduate application or an exceptional graduate hire? What do you look out for in people?
Adele, do you want to take that? Or
personally, drive, willingness to adapt, willingness to learn. It might be slow at the start, but as the weeks go on, as the days or the months go in, you'll get projects, and you have to be willing and able to put up your hand and to do the mundane stuff at the start, because it's that gets your foundations right. It is difficult, but you have to be willing to do the hard work and to put up your hand for the projects.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And then, Marie Claire, maybe for yourself, the application process itself, the graduate program and then other graduate level roles, does it involve, competency-based interviews? Is there a psychometric test or assessments involved? Is there an assessment day involved? Are there video interviews? What's the typical process for a graduate?
Well, previous COVID, there would have been, we used to do kind of like career days. We used to try and maybe fit them in Dublin so that we could, try and centralize it to, get everybody in the one area at the one time. And we used to have different booths, and I think Shirley and Adele was involved in that as well, where they, there used to be different time slots where, we met certain people, and obviously you can come as well and ask any questions you like. But typically, you'd have your, say, career day, and then we would have maybe 2 rounds of interviews, one with, HR and, maybe a site or QA manager. And then the second round would go on to the likes of Shirley and Adele, just to vet and, to give approval basically. But more, we're not too hard. It's a 2 interviews is the most you'll have to do. And it's more of a chat, to see if you fit into the business.
That'll be music to a lot of students and soon to be graduates' ears, because some of the graduate program applications, as you know, are exceptionally long and can span months. And I think sometimes that students are obviously very busy with their final year projects, whatever it might be. It can be, to expedite it. And as you say, a couple of interviews to be prepared for them, but know that they're, that they're there for a reason. You want them to succeed. That's the whole point of an interview. Is you want to give that person the opportunity that they've been shortlisted for, I suppose. Okay, maybe Adele, you want to take this one, or Shirley. Question from I've lost it now. Question from Liam. Around the production process itself. So how long does it typically take? And I'm thinking maybe from slaughter to the actual packaging of the food for distribution to your network.
So maybe I can take this, Adele. So it varies, okay? So for the slaughter process, I suppose typically from the animal comes in to the animal ends up in the chill could be 90 minutes, depending on, could be slightly more, just depending on numbers and things like that for the day. From chilling, then we'd normally chill. It depends on customer specifications. It could be anything from 2 days up to 7 days, 8 days, maybe bank holidays, who knows. And then the deboning stage, typically takes a few hours to final product. The big thing with us then is maturation. And again, it depends on customer specs, but we could be holding product for 28 days. 35 days, depending on what the customer is, before it would be maybe sliced and packed and on the shelf. So, it's not a quick process. There's a lot of storage involved, a lot of minding the product, to make it be what we want, tender, eatable, etc., etc. But hopefully that gives you a bit of an overview.
No, it does. Yeah, perfect. Hopefully that answers that question. And then another question, Adele, maybe you want to take this one. What is the most challenging part of your role in quality? Maybe that's an academic asking that question, but we'll ask it anyway.
And the most challenging part now in my role would be there's a lot of variation of work on the table. Like you could be dealing with micro, you could be dealing with suppliers, you could be dealing with a production issue, you could be dealing with careers, CVs. It's just so diverse. So at times you're like, and you could be looking at DNA, and maybe you haven't done anything on the DNA in a few weeks, and you're like going, oh my God, where were we in that? And it's just trying to retrack and figure out where you were. There's shelf life trials going on with different bag types, and it's just so diverse. The most challenging part is trying to keep up to date and knowledgeable on so many different topics.
Yeah. So what you're saying there is it's exceptional. It sounds like it's exceptionally busy. Maybe students don't appreciate your role involves so many different variables, and I think client contact might be one they're not aware of. As you say, engaging in stuff like this and promotion of the opportunities is probably something they don't appreciate. So and maybe that follows on to the next question. Mary Claire, maybe we want to take this one, and it's from who we got, Harry, who asked, what opportunity is for progression promotion within the company? I'm assuming he's asking that in the context of postgraduate program or post your initial year, maybe as a graduate.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on, how enthusiastic you are in that year, and how, how are you willing to, go up the line? Have you put the work in? And it all kind of nearly boils down to, the simple things that you can do, such as, being at work on time and not missing days, and putting the effort into the department that, you're interviewed to go into. And just putting in the work, basically, and, asking the questions and showing the ambition. There is, there's doors opened in every department, and there's people who are, progressing into roles where we need to fill their roles. And it is a constant, there can be constant moves going on, and lots and lots of opportunity.
Brilliant. Okay, well, look, just at the half an hour. So thank you so much, Mary-Claire, Shirley and Adele. Brilliant presentation. Really interesting. I'm sure all the opportunities are up on the website from a graduate perspective, and we'll upload them on Careers Connect as well. So the students should definitely go there. If they have any questions, of course, they can reach out to the email address, Mary-Claire, as well. I think it's on the website anyway. There's lots of information in there. Actually, really brilliant website from a careers perspective. So I'd encourage any students who are interested to pop along there. But for now, thank you so much. I know the video didn't fully play. We'll email that through to students anyway, and they can have a look at it. And thank you so much again. Brilliant presentation.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.